Hello, I'm Janna, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. This week over at the Funky Junky Inspiration Ave blog, we are creating to the theme of summer fun. Now, when I think of summer fun, I think of quiet time to relax. And for me, the perfect way to relax would be to sit outside near a field of flowers, looking out at the blue sky while reading a book or creating some art. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing right now, but on a card. We're going to be diving into some distress watercolors and some of the Wildflower Sizzix die cuts. If you'd like to see the rest of the materials that I'm going to be using for this project, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. To start our card today, we're going to be working with some distress Reinkers, and we're going to be working on some distress watercolor cardstock. Now, we're going to be bringing in some water, and I'm going to be creating a watercolor wash using one of the Tim Holtz Distress Collage brushes. And for colors today, we're going to be using Twisted Citron, Rustic Wilderness, a dash of Forest Moss, as well as Salty Ocean and Mermaid Lagoon for the sky. Okay, so since we're using a larger brush, I'm going to be putting a little bit of this ink off to the side, and I'll be pulling that in to add color to our background. So we're just going to do a little drop off to the side for each of the colors that I'm going to be using. And that should be plenty to get us started for our background. Okay. And now I need my two blues and a dash of Forest Moss. Okay. There we go. And now I have a temporary palette set up. And now for some Forest Moss. There, I won't need too much of that, so that should be good. All right, so first I'm just going to take my collage brush and dip it right into my water, and I'm going to just brush that across about the top half of the watercolor cardstock. And then we're going to dip into our blues. Just kind of tapping and getting some ink on here, and now we're just going to do a wash. Just straight across like that. That is such vibrant color. And now just a touch of the Mermaid Lagoon. Perfect. And I'll rinse my brush off, and then I'll get a little bit more clean water, and we'll just try to move that ink around a little bit more. Okay, oh, there we go, just like that. All right, good. Now, I'm just going to quickly dry that off with the heat tool, and we'll be right back, and we're going to fill in the meadow next. Okay, now that that's dry, let's go ahead and add some water, and this is going to become the grassy meadow. So again, I'm just taking some clean water and running that across the cardstock. So first we're going to go in with our lightest color, which would be Twisted Citron. And we're just going to brush that across. Oh, looks like I got Rustic Wilderness. You know what? That's okay. We can go back and find the Twisted Citron. And we'll just add that in. There we go. Not bad. And now I'm going to go back with a little bit of Forest Moss. I'm just going to dab that on here. And now I'm trying to make that grass line a little bit more uneven. There we go. Pretty good. Now we've got a little hill in here. All right, so now I'm just going to set this aside and let it dry. Next, we're going to move on to some wildflowers. For our die cuts, we're going to be pulling in the Sizzix die. Wildflower stems number 1. And we're going to be using this flower in particular. I'm going to be turning this into some sunflowers. So I've already die cut some of those pieces. We'll just put them out here. And we are going to be coloring them with some distress ink. So I'm going to be pulling in the Distress Watercolor palette. And this is all Reinkers in here. And we're going to be using some fossilized amber and mustard seed along with a dash of walnut stain. And to apply that, of course, I've got my fine detailer brush. So let's go ahead, we'll take this. I'm going to start with the center of the flower, and that's going to be the walnut stain. Just do that. I'm going to do one flower in real time, and then we'll put the others on fast forward. Okay, that's pretty good. Wipe that off. And then I'm going to go in with some mustard seed. And that's going to be the main part of the flower. And then I'm going to go back in with some fossilized amber to do some highlights. Okay, that is nice and bright. I like it. So I'll let that, no, you know what, I think it's fine. Now we'll go in with a little bit of fossilized amber. I'm just going to lightly brush that out so we have a little bit of texture, just like that. Good. All right, and now we're going to move on to the stem. For the stem, I'm going to be starting with some twisted citron, and then we will add a little bit of rustic wilderness to that. Okay. Now for that touch of rustic wilderness. There we go. So that is the process for creating these little flowers. We're now going to put the rest of this on fast forward while we create the other 4. Okay, we have our background and we've got our flowers. So the next thing that I want to do is trim down this background. We're going to trim this down to about 5 inches by 3 3/4. So the question is, which side am I trimming? All right, let's do the 3/4 first in this direction. So I'm just going to take that, put that here. Good. And for trimming, I'm using the Tim Holtz tonic trimmer. This makes work very easy when it comes to trimming down small things. All right, and I'm just going to quickly use the media mat to make sure that I've got my other measurement right. Let's see here. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. You know what? That should work. Is that right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4. I need this down to here. Perfect. Actually, yep, that will be perfect. Okay. There we go. And while I'm at it and have the tonic trimmer out, I'm also going to bring in a piece of paper that I'm going to use to mat this. So I'm just going to roughly measure this out and then just give myself some little pencil marks. That's going to be the easiest way for me to do the measurement. Okay, there. Turn that around and here. Perfect. So let's go ahead, we'll slice that. And one more in this direction. Excellent. And last but not least, I need to add the card base. And this is going to be the regular 5.5 by 4 1/4. So let's going to measure that out on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Good. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 1/4. All right, and we'll trim that as well. And one more on this side. There we go. So we now have our layers. That will be very useful when building the card. All right, so I'm just going to set this aside for the moment. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to stack these right now. So I'm just going to grab some adhesive. I got my ATG gun. And we'll just quickly add that onto here. Good. I'll place that down. There. All right, and that will be good to go as soon as we get the other piece finished. All right, so back to this. I'm now going to take some collage medium and we're going to be adding our sunflowers. So I'm just going to place these first and go from there. Okay. There we go. Pretty happy with that. 4? Is 4 going to be good, or do I want that 5th one? I just think I want 4. Okay. So I have an extra sunflower for later. Alright, now that I have these here, we're just going to add the collage medium, and then we will stick them down. So we're just going to quickly add some glue on here. Then we'll put that right onto the card front. So just adding a thin little bit on the flower stem and the flower. Then we can just stick that down. Okay. Good. And we'll just keep doing that for the other 4 flowers. So I'll try to be as quick as I can with this so that we have the glue. Now I love collage medium. The drying time is really, really fast. And when you're putting a card together, that can be very useful. Okay. Good. Let's put this one right there. Let's see. This one is going to go over here, and then this one's going to be right there. Okay, so let's do the tall one next. Adding those glue dots. Adding a bit more to the stem. A little bit here and there. Very good. Take that, place it down. I am loving the way these flowers turned out. And we'll put that last one right here. All right, just add some glue and then we'll add the finishing touches to our card. For finishing touches, I'm going to be pulling in some of the Ideology velvet trim, and we'll be pulling in a sticker from the Tim Holtz Ideology metallic sticker book. Definitely some of my favorite sentiments to add to cards. All right, while I'm waiting for that to dry, let's go ahead and pull in some velvet trim. Let's see here. Which one do I want? I want one of the greens. Oh, that one is great. All right, very good. I'm going to snip that. We'll bring back the ATG, and then we will attach the ribbon. Okay, setting that aside. Getting adhesive. Carefully rolling this on here. And whatever overhangs, I will tuck that behind the card. Okay, good. Taking that. We'll put that right here. That's good. And we'll tuck the little overhang behind. Okay, let's quickly trim off those stems, and then we can attach our watercolor cardstock to our layered base. Okay, good. So I'm just going to quickly add some ATG tape, just going around. Good. And a little bit more here. And we'll bring back our layers and we will attach that onto here. There we go. There's our card, and the next thing we need to do is add our sentiment, and that's also our last thing to do. So we're going to be pulling a sentiment from the Tim Holtz Ideology Metallic Sticker Book. So I'm just going to take that sentiment, and you know what? I'm going to stick that right in the middle here, right over the velvet. Perfect. So this is our completed card created to the theme of summer fun. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner. Today we have created a quick card to the theme of summer fun. Here we've taken some wildflower stem die cuts and altered them to become some gorgeous, bright and cheerful sunflowers. If you would like to see a written description for this project, go ahead and click the link in the description box down below for a link to my blog. And again, thank you so much for joining me here at the Crafty Corner, and until next time, happy crafting!